Malaysia's exports to all major markets, namely ASEAN, China, the United States, the European Union and Japan, recorded double-digit expansion in June. The strong exports turbo boosted Malaysia's total trade performance, which surpassed RM1 trillion in value in just the first 6 months of the year. According to the International Trade and Industry Ministry, this was the shortest period to breach the RM1 trillion milestone. Data provided by the Statistics Department showed that exports to the 5 major markets in June totaled RM72.25 billion, exceeding imports of RM57.8 billion. The markets collectively contributed almost 69% of June's total exports. Miti announced yesterday that the country's total exports in June grew for the 10th consecutive month year-on-year since September 2020, registering a strong growth of 27.2% to RM105.47 billion. This was the third time exports exceeded the RM100 billion mark. MIDF research described the exports growth as better than expected, despite June being the first month of full lockdown. Meanwhile, total imports in June increased by 32.1% to RM83.23 billion and the trade surplus expanded by 11.7% to RM22.24 billion. The strong export growth in June was contributed by the high demand for petroleum products, rubber products as well as electrical and electronic products. The major driver of E&E products exports is the electronic integrated circuits used in the production of smartphones, cars, computers and home appliances. Miti said that in June 2021, exports for all 3 sectors recorded strong double-digit expansion compared to the same month last year. Click to enlarge. On imports in June, Miti pointed out that the imports of intermediate goods, valued at RM43.71 billion or 52.5% of total imports, increased by 25.3% YOY. This was following higher imports of processed industrial supplies, particularly copper and articles. Capital goods, valued at RM8.57 billion or 10.3% of total imports, grew by 15.2% YOY, due mainly to higher imports of parts for machinery and mechanical appliances. In addition, consumption goods rose by 19.2% YOY, led by higher imports of processed food and beverages mainly for household consumption, especially meat and edible meat offal. Consumption goods are valued at RM7.35 billion or 8.8% of total imports. For the first half of 2021, Malaysia's exports rose by 30.2% YOY to RM585.56 billion and imports increased by 21.1% to RM470.53 billion. Meanwhile, trade totaled RM1.056 trillion, an expansion of 26% from the same period last year. Looking ahead, MIDF research has maintained its exports and imports growth projections at 13.5% YOY and 12.7% YOY respectively.